Welcome back to Not So Grand Garage. This is part 2 of our solar expansion project, and as you can see, some things have changed a little bit. I went on and got the batteries back here. That one over there is not mounted yet. It is just kind of sitting here. So we got to get the mounting bracket put on and get that permanently installed. But this one here is mounted. I did end up going on and just mounting it directly to the house. We lag bolted it in, but all the weight is being carried by the concrete below. Then the inverter went up on top of this. I need another set of hands to get this up there. It's 140-ish pounds and kind of awkward with how tight I made everything up here. You know, measure once, cut twice type of thing. But hey, we got it in there. Made sure our gasket sealing surface right here was good and tight all the way across. And it could pretty well be wired in as it stands, but I'm not ready to do that yet. We're going to go on and get this battery mounted, and then we've got a couple conduit runs to go between the two batteries so I can bring battery cables from one to the other, and then we'll be ready to start tying everything to the inverter. We can hook the batteries up, be able to power the inverter on just battery and get all the basic settings set up. Then we'll shut power off and go on and tie everything in to the main panel. I don't know if we'll get to that in this video or not, because I do want to take some time with that. But yeah, we'll see how it works out. So let's get at it. So as you can tell, you may recognize this panel here. This was what I was using to load bank the diesel generator. You would have seen it used. I may have used it on video. I don't recall if I did or not. But there's just 3 water heater elements in that. We'd fill it up with water, and it was tied in to where I could individually turn those elements on and load bank the diesel generator. Every 6 months or so, put a good load on it, let it run for a couple hours. But I'm not going to have that set up here anymore. I'm going to have that set up back on the generator shack eventually. But for now, we ripped it out to give us room to mount our battery bank. And I do have a hole down there I got to fill in. I've got plugs for that. But yeah, we'll just be running, once this is mounted, we're running conduit between here and here for our battery cables to pass through. So in the meantime, I am going to line up the bracket on this side approximately with the height it's set at on this side. It doesn't have to be exact. It's just going to be close, and then we'll adjust the feet to get it to sit level. And I want it just so the bracket on the back is hanging, or not hanging, but supporting the battery this way to keep it from falling. I want the concrete carrying all the weight. And if something happens with the pad, the brackets can hold the weight. I just don't want them to have to, if that makes sense. But yeah, my little Predator 3500 watt generator does fit under here too, out of the weather. So yeah, we'll get into why I'm leaving this here a bit later. But for now, we're going to get this moved out of the way and get our bracket mounted. So, got our mounting brackets attached to the back of the battery. Got one on top, one on bottom. They're held on with 3 bolts on each one. And that's going to give us a nice offset away from the wall. Now, I've just got the mounting plate itself to bolt up. And like I said, I'm just going to match it up pretty close with the height this one's set at. We'll pre-drill the holes and run 3/8 lag bolts into the wall. The bottom 3 will catch the plate that runs on top of the block, and then we may get lucky and hit a stud with the top bolts, but I don't really care, to be honest, because like I said, the bracket's not holding any weight. It's just going to keep this from rocking, and nobody's going to be over here messing with it anyways. other than me, and I don't plan on hanging on these things anytime soon. So yeah, we're gonna get that done and get it weaseled back into place, set up on the bracket, and level the feet up, and we should be good to go on and start setting up conduit. Ducks are sneaking off into the woods. Well, there we go. Both are secured to the wall. Now, as you can see, got everything secure back there. This isn't going anywhere. So, next up is to run our conduit between each. I may have to move this out of the way because I want this conduit to fit in here real tight. But we'll see how that works out. And we're going to run 2 runs. And each run will carry 2 2-aught cables. And yeah, that will pretty well get us ready for hooking everything up. Alrighty, we got our conduit ran 2 runs between the boxes here that are mounted to the tops of the batteries. And that will allow us to run our power wire between both batteries. And now I've got the inverter opened up here, and we're going to go on and get battery number 1 tied in to the inverter. Now the battery kit came with the battery cables that feed from battery number 1 to the inverter. They're sized for this connection, and we have to make up the run between the batteries. All the batteries, as you expand the storage, all the batteries connect back to each other. The only connection to the inverter is on the main battery right here. Everything else is looped back to this one. So we'll go on and get this one tied in. The battery lugs are over here with our disconnect for that. So we'll get them hooked up and hopefully power the inverter on and see if we can start setting up some of the basics on here, go through everything, and make sure it's set up how we want it before I tie in the other battery or tie it into our panel here and get grid power hooked up to it. But yeah, we're moving right along. Alrighty, we've got our main DC conductors from the first battery hooked up to the inverter. They're all passing through a 2-inch male adapter with a bushing on it to protect them. Also passing through a single toroid. And yeah, should be good to go. Now, I'm going to go on, before I put power to the battery, I'm going to go on and look through here and see what I need to set the dip switches to on the battery to make sure this one is set as the primary. And then we'll be good to go to turn the battery on and hopefully power this inverter on for the first time. Start going through some basic setup. We've got our power switch turned on the battery bank. So we're going to come up here and we're going to check voltage. At the lugs, breaker is still off. So we've got 53 volts DC incoming. So we're good there. Energize those. And we're going to come over here. Turn it on. We have lights. Hey. And we have a screen. We have power. So, yeah, I've still got the main breaker over here off. But we're just going to go through and check everything out. Showing 95% state of charge on the battery right now. But, yeah. I'm not going to go through the individual settings on this because each installation is going to be different. So I'm going to go through and set it up how I need to. There are really in-depth videos from Sol-Ark on every setting that is in this thing. So be sure, if you're going this route using one of these, go through those videos that they have. They're free. They're on YouTube. Check them out and set it up how you're going to be using it and go from there. But I will bring you back here in a little bit, and hopefully we'll have it all set up, and which it's not going to happen tonight because the sun's already going down. Hey, the ducks came back. But the sun's already going down, and it's starting to get a little cold out here. I'm not going to tie this into the panel tonight. That'll be for tomorrow. But yeah, I wanted to see this thing power on, and we are there. So yeah, I'm going to tinker with some settings. I'll bring you back in a bit. Well, we're back out here this morning and we're working on our 2-aught connecting leads that run between the batteries. So we're going to have 2 sets of these, one positive, one negative in each conduit. And that should get us all tied together. And then I'll be running a communication wire between this battery and that battery as well as a ground. But yeah. We're getting there slowly but surely. Here are our battery terminal ends. These are from Renon. I'm not sure if it's a proprietary connector or not. But anyways, they crimp in place. This weatherproof sleeve comes up, threads onto the back, seals everything up real nice. And they just clip in to the battery terminals. And they have quick releases for them as well. Pretty slick little setup. Well, we've got all of our DC conductors ran. We've got our communications lines in, and our ground conductors ran for just equipment grounds. So now what we got to do is fire up the inverter and make sure everything's set and communicating with the batteries. And then we should be good to go on and start tying in the load and grid side to our panel down here. I've kind of left that as the last stop. Other than the PV stuff, I haven't decided what I'm going to do there yet. Like I said, I do have some panels out front, 10 or so. They'll put out like 2,500, 3,000 watts, something like that. And I'll probably throw them out here on some kind of temporary setup until I can get the array that I'm going to be using, get the panels and racking ordered for that. At least that way we are taking some advantage of the solar input on this instead of just using it as a battery backup system. But yeah, we are making progress, and I'm going to go on and fire this thing up, make sure everything is still happy, change a few settings, make sure everything's communicating, and yeah, then the fun stuff. Well, we've got everything up. Currently we're showing an alarm on the Sol-Ark because it's not detecting a neutral to ground bond anywhere, and that's because it's not hooked up to the panel. And the breakers are off in here and everything else, so that's no issue. But something did kind of come up. So in our communication with our lithium batteries, we'll bring that up. It's showing in here a max charge current of 125 amps, which that's not accurate according to the manufacturer. So this is a Saturday, and it is, let's see what time it is here. It is almost noon, and yeah, I called the 800 number on Renon's website, and someone answered within a few rings and walked me through everything on the phone on a Saturday. I was kind of shocked that anyone would even be available to talk to me. So yeah, said we are good to go with how this is paralleled and our wiring configuration and everything else. We can run the 15K at full tilts, 275 amp charge, 275 amp discharge. And he double checked a few things, verified everything with me. So I'm assuming this charge current limit for some reason is being falsely reported via the communication from the batteries. So we followed their suggestion and ramped it up to 275, which is where we wanted to be. But yeah, I was kind of mind blown that someone actually answered the phone on a Saturday morning at a big company like that. That's customer service you don't really see anymore. But yeah, I am probably going to wrap this video up here. Tying into the panel, we're going to get a little in depth there. So I figured I would break this up. The DC side, then a separate video for the AC side, how I'm doing this. Again, I do this on the side. I know a little bit about a lot of things, enough to get me in trouble. I did our solar install out front, the grid tie only system. It's been 5 or so years ago now, passed inspection with flying colors. So I know a little bit about the electric code and proper installation practices, so on and so forth. So, but I am not, quote, a certified electrician. So don't follow anything and everything I say as installation walkthrough. This is just how I'm doing it. So be sure to check how code applies to your area, because it's different across the country. Yeah, and if you're not comfortable doing any of this stuff, by all means, hire a professional electrician. It will save you in the long run if you don't know what you're doing. So, anywho, I'm going to wrap this one up. If you got any comments, questions, complaints, drop them in the comment section below. If you would, hit that thumbs up button. Helps us out quite a bit and doesn't cost you anything. If you haven't already, please subscribe. We appreciate you watching.